Tonight, so if I grunt, it's because I'm a pussy.
Yeah, and as you guys heard, Bob said he's a pussy. That's the very first thing our fans heard. Bob said he's a
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were on the air. Well, now that we're on the air, here's the fans. Oh, whoops, put those down.
Welcome to Ring the Damn Bell. Of course, it is Tuesday night, so we're gonna be doing a recap of Monday Night Raw. And with me,
Wait, let me start out like I was last night watching Raw. Oh, I'm sorry.
and you killed me. We're going to disagree tonight, I see. But as you guys met, you heard him snoring about Raw. He is the superficial one, the cooker, Bob Cook. And then, of course, beneath Bob Cook, and he should be beneath me as well, just so Mark is just beneath us all, is the wrestling, God, what's your name again?
Shut up.
Oh, the wrestling enthusiast, Mark. What's going on, guys?
We're talking about.
Let me just say, to prove I'm the superficial cooker, the best part about Monday Night Raw was
Lyra Valkyrie.
Liv Morgan's ass.
You know, but between you and Mark, this podcast isn't going to survive much longer because Mark had to bring up the wrestler that shall not be named, Chris Benoit, in the last podcast, and here we are talking about ass, Liv Morgan's ass, right away. So, let's get to some stuff real quick.
It's better than talking about Catherine Box. Who's the woman that played on the Dukes of Hazzard?
Catherine
Yeah,
Box.
you don't want to talk about that now. She's old.
I didn't want to talk about it then. I've always thought she looked like a horse, but that's just me.
Oh. What, her ass looked like? Oh, never mind. Let's get back on track.
Yes. So, guys, don't forget, coming to Ohio, Navarre, Ohio, to be exact, is a great event. It is a pro wrestling show that is raising money for autism. You're going to have a lot of great matches. Mike Knox is going to be there. We have a couple guys from Impact Wrestling that's going to be there. Baby Doll is going to be there. Scotty, WCW, Scotty Riggs is going to be there as well, who has a phenomenal story, a man who completely changed his life. It's incredible what he did. If you guys want to go check out Scotty Riggs' story, you guys can go Google it on YouTube, and there's no documentary about him getting with DDP and the shape that Riggs was in when he got the DDP, and how giving up drugs and getting clean completely transformed his entire body when he get back to him. But he's going to be there. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bob.
I was just going to say, if he's no longer using the drugs, that I could give out my address if you had any left over, for emergencies.
I'll be sure to tell him that. I'm gonna try to get him on the show. So some quick news, or I guess it's still speculation right now. But according to Bill Apter, he was on this week's edition of Sports Cadia, and it was SmackDown Talk, and he is saying that he does not think that Jey Uso is going to make it to WrestleMania, that they're going to have a storyline where Jey Uso gets attacked, taken him out of WrestleMania, and John Cena is going to be replaced. He believes that, John Cena has to be in the main event, and the fans want to see CM Punk facing Cody Rhodes. His exact words were, fans want to see CM Punk against Cody Rhodes. Jey Uso has announced that he is going to go for the World Championship against Gunther. And I've been saying this on a lot of shows. I don't know if Jey Uso is going to get to WrestleMania with all these attacks that are going on with them. I don't know. I think John Cena might wind up with Gunther somehow. And I think CM Punk goes with Cody Rhodes because that's the match the fans want to see. What say you, Bob?
Well, I say I didn't realize that Bill drank so much.
Yeah,
because I don't agree with that. That would be the ultimate. Like the fans, as much as I don't like to yeet, the fans are into it. They're going to do it. They're going to let him wrestle Gunther, whether they let him win or not. Who knows? They should let him win because at least Yeet is more exciting than Gunther, who's boring as the day is long.
Well, it's something else as well that I believe that if they did this, they would be putting John Cena in a bad situation. I think that they would cause the fans to turn on John Cena as well.
It would cause the fans to turn on the company because they say, well, what was the point of the Royal Rumble, the whole struggle, the whole this, the whole that, just to not go to the WrestleMania? Stupid idea. Bill?
Yep.
Stop drinking.
Yep. Mark, what about you, my man?
Oh, I got a quick question for Bob. Did you find Lance Storm boring? Steven Regal boring? Bret Hart boring? You know, because all these guys were technicians, along with Gunther is a technician in the ring. All right. Yeah, they all lack a personality, but are we watching for the personality or their abilities?
Both. And Gunther's boring in both. Anybody can chop the crap out of somebody.
Yeah, but you know what? Actually, Gunther was actually pretty decent last night. Not extraordinary, but decent.
And you see, I like Gunther.
Did he actually wrestle or just come out and mumble words?
Actually, just promo, and then he beat the shit out of Jey.
Yeah.
Jey,
Look, I like Gunther. Because I love.
Well, I like Walter. What do you think of that?
You know,
I'm just kidding.
I love technical wrestling. I really do. I mean, I was a huge fan of people like Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko was a technical wrestler. The man was phenomenal. And you can argue if Dean Malenko had a personality or not. But yet, Dean Malenko will go down, at least in my opinion, as one of the greatest technical wrestlers there is.
Dean Malenko is actually one of the funniest people you'd ever want to meet in your entire life.
I bet he is. I bet he is.
He's hilarious.
But on camera, he didn't come across that way.
Well, he did a little bit when they started doing those skits with him. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next piece. Jade Cargill is near return as creative plans take shape. According to PWInsider.com, Cargill is back at the WWE Performance Center today. The outlet noted that the belief is her creative plans for her return will be set very soon. While her exact return date to WWE remains unknown, Cargill has been training at the Performance Center for over a month to prepare for her comeback. And I believe that with them coming up with this video, which I thought was stupid as hell, we'll get to that. Now that they're starting to do little things like that, I think that they are I agree that she will be back soon. Bob, is she someone that you are excited? You're excited to see come back?
Well, you know, not to beat a dead horse, but I am superficial. Of course I want her to come back. I never wanted her to leave.
Let me rephrase that. Are you excited to see her in a ring because of her wrestling ability? Or are you one of the many people who believes that she just cannot wrestle?
I believe the people who think that are overbearing, I go back to this every week because it just fits. Overbearing, obnoxious, pig-faced, ignorant, I threw the word ignorant bastards who have no idea what they're talking about. Yeah, she does a match and she does a match where she does everything right except one botch here and there. And the whole match sucks. She doesn't deserve to be there. Well, guess what? You're wrong.
Well, Bob, I need you to be a little bit more direct, sir.
There's people that are going to say Mercedes Moné and whoever she wrestled at last week's AEW show, I don't remember at the moment, but it was a good match. But because Mercedes got heat and the fans don't like her, she's going to say, they're going to say, oh, she sucks.
Bob, you disappoint me because here you are saying you're superficial. And the fact you cannot remember that was Harley Quinn that she wrestled.
That's right. The girl, the ventriloquist.
Yes. Disappoints me.
I agree. Mark. Yeah, but I'm also old, so I got concussion syndrome.
He's got
I just went to Hooters and my wings were cold. The waitress's hot wings cold. It's supposed to be both the other way. Both are supposed to be hot.
True story, guys. He sent me a picture. So
the wings were cold.
Mark, what are your thoughts? Are you a big fan of Jade? Are you a big fan of her ring ability? Is she someone that you're really anxious to see her come back? That's for you, Bart.
Oh, for me, I think you said Bob. You know what? I kind of take her as a Goldberg in a sense. I think she's a joy to see. I think she has as much dedication to keeping her body in shape. If she applies that to wrestling, she'll be unstoppable in a year or two with WWE training her. Yeah, I'd like to see her back in the ring. I think, for the most part, she does probably, 90% of the right thing. I think her botching, that could happen to anybody. Um, yeah, overall, I'd like to see her back in the ring. I think she's got a good presence in the ring.
And the last piece of
Exactly.
the
She's a
last piece,
goddess.
last piece of news. Podcast host Mark sends the host a DM stating that Michael Cole is a tool in the company, man. That he sucks because of his interview that was concerning Corey Graves. Michael Cole basically said he doesn't really know a whole lot about the situation. He gave a lot of vague answers, which I think was the professional thing to do. Doesn't concern him. But of course, said co-host just thought that he was being a bitch-ass company man.
Pretty
Now,
much.
I believe that Michael Cole is one of the greatest announcers that we have currently, and for the past 20 years since Jim Ross, JR, has left. He will never be as good as JR, but nonetheless, he's there. Bob, what do you think?
I think Michael Cole's good at what he does. When you see those videos of him, they have cameras on him when he's getting excited. I mean, he shows a passion. But as far as what the thing with Corey Graves is, I would imagine because I saw where he said, "I love Corey to death," which means he has a bond and a friendship with Corey. So if Corey actually told him in private what was going on, what was going through his mind, if any of that was real at all, you never know with wrestling. Michael's honoring a friendship. You're not going to go on a national TV show or a national podcast or whoever's popular and say, "Yeah, I talked to Corey. He's an idiot. He went crazy. He did this, he did that." No, he's going to keep it to his chest or whatever they call that, keep it to his heart, whatever you call it. He's not going to expose what a friend said.
He did
I mean,
absolutely.
I would because I'll backstab anybody for money.
He did absolutely nothing to protect Corey. He was giving him company.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear everything you said.
No, he gave corporate answers. He did absolutely nothing to protect Corey. He did everything to cover for the company. And I'm sorry, I don't agree with it. If he's friends with Corey and he says, yeah, he loves Corey, second favorite person to work with, after Pat McVee, which is strange because he had years with Corey and maybe a couple of years with Pat tops,
So let me
but
ask you a question, Mark.
didn't come across as a friend. He came across as a company man protecting the company.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know how much Michael Cole makes. I'm just going to make something up, right? Say he's making $250,000 a year, right? It could be less, could be more.
It's got to be more than that. Lawler was making that. And he was just a
But
second fiddle man.
let's go with $250 a year. And you were doing an interview. Would you risk your job and the amount of money you're making, supporting your family, to take up for a friend and say a bunch of shit that you know is going to get your ass fired?
I don't know if I'd say shit, but I'd say something to protect my friend to a degree. And
He did by being vague.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And as far as him not being great, or to me, it's like what we say about professional wrestling. The reasons why people like you and I won't say, well, this wrestler sucks, well, because we couldn't go to the ring and do it. Now, Bob has the right to say a wrestler sucks because he was a professional wrestler. We're not. So let me ask you, do you think you can replace Corey Graves and do a better job?
Do I think I can?
I mean, not Corey Graves, Michael Cole.
Sure, if somebody's piecing in the mouthpiece that they have to, like they do for Michael Cole.
Nope,
I think.
Nope.
All right.
Wait, I've told you this. Go and watch Something to Wrestle with JBL, the episode where he talks about being a commentary. Their job is so much more than just saying what's being told in their earpiece. So much more. They're doing 1,000 things at one time and still have to be able to see what's going on with the match, listening to what's being said backstage. It's so much more than just sitting there getting fed information.
Yeah, I understand.
But
that.
ultimately, who's in the wrong here? Corey is the one in the wrong. You don't go on social media, especially in this era, and say anything that you're going to regret eventually, or even the next day where you delete it. He shouldn't have said it. He should. That's something you should take up with the company. If he's got a problem with it, go to Triple H and say, "Hey, what's the deal? I'm better than I think I am, but I think I'm better than I am. I should be where I think I should be." No, you should be wherever the company puts you, and be happy you got a goddamn job. Okay, you tattoo freak. Who puts a tattoo on their neck? Anybody to put it? Well, I'd never make a guy with a tattoo on his neck the world champion. Oh, wait a minute. Let me rethink that again.
Right, because nowadays what you post on social media can cost you your job.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well,
Maybe he was trying to create his own angle, and they said, "Hey, look, Corey, we got writers for that crap. Calm down. Go play with your wife. She's hot."
Well, I do believe in consequences, Mark, and the consequences for your actions today is when you come over to the house next pay-per-view, you're only limited to 2 pieces of cake now. That's it.
Oh, what kind of cake do you have?
Oh, my diabetes just jumped.
Is it chocolate cake with white frosting?
Chocolate cake with yellow. It's yellow cake mixed with chocolate frosting.
Oh, I don't like that. I want
That's what we had
chocolate
last
cake with
time.
white vanilla frosting, chocolate cake, or I'm not coming.
And it's sugar free.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not coming then.
No, it was delicious.
But it was really good.
We make different things every pay-per-view when Mark joins us. I made him jambalaya. This past Saturday, I made him barbecue pulled chicken, which he even said, "Man, I don't normally like barbecue, but this is delicious." So I'm a pretty good cook, and the wife's a pretty good baker.
You don't like barbecue?
Never been a fan of barbecue.
Well, I'm going to have to go.
Hence why I said something's wrong with this guy. Anyway, let's get back to what's up.
I just have a problem with food. You got to lick your fingers afterwards. I cannot.
Oh, I don't like that either. I mean, I did that at Hooters a little while ago.
Well, that's why I have either my wife or my dog licking my fingers afterwards.
No, I just, it drives me nuts to hear my kids and my wife going.
It just
finger licking good. It's a whole gimmick. Finger licking good. It's tradition.
I know.
Speaking of consequences, maybe I'm just joking. I'm just joking about that. Okay.
Let's get back on the price.
Yeah, let's get back to Monday Night
Raw.
Yeah, Bob, we're waiting on you. You said
Oh, what did I? I don't even remember doing that. Yeah, let's get back on Raw. That way we don't have to talk about Corey because he's not there anymore. Ha ha!
Is Corey on NXT now or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't watch NXT because it's on right now.
Right. We're busy. All right, go ahead, Kev. Where are we at?
No, go ahead. Let's go ahead and start the recap.
Okay, so we start the recap with Kevin attacking Sammy. Then we go to a vignette, I guess, of Sammy's point of view, and then we go to a vignette of Kevin's point of view. Then we go to Sammy to the ring, saying this, that, and this, the next thing. It kind of surprised me that they're going to grant this match, unsanctioned match, when Sammy's got problems with his neck, just from 2 weeks ago. But Adam Pearce came out and granted him an unsanctioned match against Kevin Owens.
But isn't it like 2 weeks before the show, though? So then you're like talking a month before,
So you're talking a month with a neck injury? Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, it's wrestling.
Yeah, I know.
This is my problem with it. Are they going to have a phenomenal match? More than likely, yes. They've been wrestling each other for so long. They know each other really well. They are best friends in reality. This is my problem with it, though. We've seen it. We've seen basically a hardcore match, which is what's going to happen between these two. We've seen these promos where you've gone too far. It's unforgivable. I mean, how many times are we going to see this between these guys?
Right. 37.
Yeah. It's probably already been 37.
We're at 35 now.
Yeah. To me, all this match is, honestly, in my opinion, is a filler for the Elimination Chamber.
It's an ECW match. That's all it is.
Yeah. I mean, but hey, you know what? I'll say this much. Sami Zayn's beard looking damn good.
Yeah, I gotta give props on that, man. That thing is thicker than shit.
But the thing is, they could have accomplished everything that took 15 minutes to do last night in 2 minutes or less. You didn't have to go out there with some ridiculous long promo and have Adam Pearce come out. Could have been done in less than 2 minutes. Could have been done in the back.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, having to do the recap of the first video when it first happened, it's like, and then a recap of what Sammy said whenever he's at his house, and then a promo. It's like,
and then a recap of that promo an hour later.
Yeah.
For the idiots who might have tuned in an hour late. It's like, oh my God, look what we missed. Nothing.
Right.
All right, so next we go to
who books this crap? Who books this show now? Oh, never mind. I'm just kidding.
Well, I know the Road Dogg is back, and he's back being one of the writers for creative. So
I like Road Dogg. He's a cool guy. Last guy I wrestled in WCW was the Road Dogg before he was a Road Dogg. Yeah.
We're gonna find all this out because in the next couple of weeks, you and I are gonna be doing an interview.
He's another one of those guys, funny as can be.
Was his dad ever put in the Hall of Fame?
Yes. When he was alive still, even did the speech gimmick, everything.
Yeah. Brad needs to be put into the Hall of Fame.
Definitely. Brad was awesome. And another guy, hilarious.
Yeah,
he never walked in a dressing room I was in that didn't make me laugh. He didn't even have to do anything. He just do something, you just laugh.
Yeah, Brad Armstrong was seriously underutilized.
Oh my God, absolutely.
So smooth, easy, light as a feather. Fantastic.
Him and Tim Horner.
Yeah, I love Tim Horner too.
The Lightning Express, right?
Yep.
Like that, I think so.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
All right, so next we go to the recap of Jade's attack. Just the video showing that Liv and Raquel are walking outside pretty much.
This video was so goddamn stupid.
I think Triple H did it. Oh, wait a minute, that was Shawn Michaels.
Whoever did it, it's what is it showing? It's dumb. I mean, to me, if you really wanted to draw eyeballs to that, it actually should have showed either Cargill or not Cargill,
Liv or Raquel.
Well, what's going to happen is that they're going to.
I was saying you should have shown Naomi and Belair walking past or walking by it before, something with those two. Then I think it would have been interesting, or either just one or the other. But this whole, y'all know that it's not going to be Liv or Raquel. They've given it away by even showing them on a video.
Yep.
Well, they're going to discover more found footage.
Oh yeah.
I want to know the real reason she was gone to begin with. It certainly wasn't to spend time with me, unless I forgot. And trust me, I wouldn't forget about something like that.
Multiple sources says that she was really injured.
She was what?
She was injured. So they did this to write her off TV.
That's probably code for doing a TV show or a movie somewhere, because she did sign with some big movie agency company gimmick thingy. I don't know.
I don't see why somebody wouldn't sign her. She's built like a brick shit house.
But I bet she smells delicious.
I don't know.
She just looks like she'd smell good. I don't know. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Somebody does, and it's not me. Life isn't fair, is it?
Oh, it's not.
Oh, no, I live a pretty good damn life.
I mean, I look like this and I can't smell Jade Cargill. Thanks, God. I
look like this and I have an amazingly beautiful wife. So
I saw that and I started to hate you. I was like, man, I can't do this guy's show anymore. What's up with that?
Because I can't see what she sees in them.
Me neither.
All right, so next we go to Judgment Day, talking about the Elimination Chamber, and no new people to join our group.
Thank God. Talk about a boring group. Yeah, hey, Gunther should join. They'd all fit in.
They should have broke that group up whenever Liv and Damian Priest left. That should have been it at that point.
I don't know, the way they're booking them, they're just enhanced talent. So,
hey,
hey, nothing.
Yeah, more.
Excuse me.
Pay attention to who's up here above us.
Not
Actually,
everybody can be up here. Some people got to be here, and some people need to be there, and others don't need to be there at all.
actually, on my phone, he's beneath me.
I am. What?
Yeah, on my phone, it's you and Kevin on the bottom, and I'm on the top. On my phone.
Unbelievable. That sounds weird. I don't want to talk about that one.
Your phone's lying to you.
Didn't sound right coming out of my mouth either. All right. Next, we go to Speed recapping his spear from Braun Breaker.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yes, it was. The spear was
Yeah, the amount of hits they have on YouTube is
insane.
nuts.
I think it's
Okay.
half here, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Speed's still alive is amazing because Brian Breaker, I mean, like I've said numerous of times, if you pause it right as he hit him, you could see Speed's soul leaving his body at that point. He was so hard.
That's like a UFC fight where they punch him in the head and like their skull separates from the brain.
I don't know. I thought for sure he's going to come out of his shoes.
That would have been hilarious.
Right?
He should have figured that out. See, he's not a professional. Got to think on the fly.
Hope we got an extra zero on that check for that hit, man, because that looked pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, so next we go to AJ versus Dominic. You know, this was a so-so match. You know, again, Dominic improves every match. You know, like him or hate him, you know, the kid's just getting nothing but better. But
Yeah,
AJ,
I don't know why, but you know, because I like AJ Styles, and I even like Dom, but this match just bored me.
You know what you should get better at? Opening a door. And if you don't know what I mean, it's open a door to a gym, kid.
yeah,
Jesus.
does need that.
Yeah, but yeah,
He hangs around people like Carlito and Finn Balor, for God's sakes. Does Finn Balor go to the gym? I have a feeling.
You know, the funny thing is, all Dom eats is chicken fingers, I guess.
Yeah,
He's fired.
That video, but yeah, like
He
I
needs
said,
to hang around.
this match just bored me. I don't know why. It's just hard for me to get into it.
He should be fired and he can go hang around Corey and they can have a whining contest.
All right, so Braun comes out to spear AJ and he gets Dom instead.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, did you find this match, interesting at all, or?
You know, you nailed it right on the head. It was hard to get into. You know, yeah, Dom's getting better, but AJ is still leagues in front of him. You know, and I don't want to say that AJ carried him, but
He carried him.
Yeah, for lack of term, yeah, he carried him. It's hard for somebody like AJ to face somebody like Dom because AJ is, and I hate using this term, I really do, because I just hate it. He's a generational wrestler. I just hate using that term though. AJ is one of them guys that you find once in a generation. Well, not once, but very few.
Yeah,
3 times.
Did you have any interest in this match at all?
No, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was probably a 4.
Yeah. Bob, you?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Dom, and that doesn't mean if he does really, really well, I won't give him credit because I'm not like most people who say, well, I don't like them, and you'll never give a person credit simply because you don't like him. I just never thought he was that great. He's had his moments, but not enough moments to justify a continuous paycheck and Liv Morgan on his arm, even if that part is a work. He still gets to touch her.
Yeah, I agree. Dom is more entertaining out of the ring than he is in the ring.
Dom is there because of who his daddy is, and believe it or not, that's the truth. Nepotism in wrestling is a severe disease that should be cut out like a cancer. But if the guy is really good and deserving, then you go, nepotism's okay. But in this situation, there's so many guys behind him that never get a push, that deserve a push, and never will get a push, that could take a spot and shine. And be willing to shine, be willing to put in an effort 100% every time as opposed to a lackluster effort like Dom does most of it. I think he puts more effort into combing his hair.
Yeah, but I mean, how many guys can really get the heat and get the
a lot if they're given the opportunity.
Oh, yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, yeah, I suppose you're right. All right.
And I would rather have someone get a little less heat, but go out there and tear the house down when the bell rings.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Unfortunately, you won't see that in WWE. It's too controlled.
Oh, that's it. I'm not going to watch anymore.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that there's a few guys.
No, here's the deal. Too many people think that's the situation. Nobody comes up to you and goes, "Hey, Dom, come here. I want to tell you something. Go out there and give a half-assed display. Tone it down a bit. Don't be so active. Don't be so excited. Don't put in all the effort." They never do that.
No, but they limit them and they hamstring them on what they can do. And they
Well, look what happened to AEW. They let them do all kinds of crazy stuff, and half of them are on the shelf.
Yeah, true. I'm not going to argue that. All right.
But you can go out there and have a great match without doing stupid crap if you're good enough.
Ask Lance Storm, ask Dean Malenko, ask Chris
Who?
Jericho.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
All right. So next we go to American Made, talking about the shenanigans they pulled the week before against War Raiders, and talking about getting gold.
American Made. Scotty Riggs and Alexander Bagwell on the show. Oh, that's different. That's different.
Yeah, this again, this board. I mean, I just didn't care. To be honest.
Say what?
This whole thing with American Made, backstage, it didn't interest me. I had a hard time finding like I cared.
Those guys look so indie wrestler. It's not funny. Why do they have a job? Are they some kind of legitimate wrestlers that they go to the Olympics? Even so, who cares? Hang out with Gunther. They bore me.
I think they're trying to recreate the whole Kurt Angle, Haas, and
with those guys. Yeah. It's not working. You know why? Because Kurt's not there.
Yeah, no, it's not. And
although Gable is great, don't get me wrong.
Oh, Gable's awesome. Yeah,
he's only 4'9" though. So that's a problem.
Right, that's the problem.
But that's the thing.
Don't tell him I said that though, because he's a legit. He could stretch me.
What I got out of this, what I hope is going to happen, is that because they didn't win the belts, Chad Gable's going to come out there. I'm hoping that he's going to turn on them and he's just going to have a singles run by himself. I don't want to see him with any more groups.
You know what? I'd like to see a turn. I'd like to see Maxine turn on me and have a singles run with me. That's what I'd like. Superficial Bob struck again. And I realize she's not part of that group. I'm just mentioning her because she's hot.
Yeah. Her boyfriend's actually on that new show on A&E.
Yeah, I don't like him.
LFG or something?
LFG, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that show and I was like, none of these people have what it takes. I mean, come on. They look just like the last 100 people they hired and fired. And I realize it's just an A&E show. They're being paid to put it together, and maybe they'll find a diamond in the rough. Who knows?
Yeah. So Bob and Mark both, do you guys think that Chad Gable would be better by himself? And do you think that he could have a successful run, even with him being as short as he is? Because remember, Kurt Angle wasn't that tall either.
But he wasn't that short either.
Taller than Gable. I mean, Gable's what, 5'10", 5'11"?
He was, but I think Gable's abilities in the ring makes up for that. And that's what I'm asking. Do you think that WWE will allow him to have a really successful singles run?
Nope.
Not as versatile as Kurt. In the ring, yes, he is. But outside the ring, as far as personality-wise, he's not willing to go to the lengths that Kurt Angle was. Kurt Angle would go to any lengths almost to score some points. Anytime you put on a cowboy hat that's 6 times too small for you, you're hilarious.
I think Gable would do that.
I don't, because what are they calling him, Shorty Gable or something?
Yeah.
He kind of.
I would say anything is possible, but it's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'll be honest. There's rumors that there's going to be a Bass versus Hair match at WrestleMania. It's going to be Penta versus Dominic.
My God!
I would much prefer to see a rematch at WrestleMania.
I thought Dominic was Ray Phoenix or Penta. I mean,
no, but
I'm confused.
In all seriousness, I would prefer to have a rematch with Penta against Chad Gable at WrestleMania.
That'd be much better.
Easily. And a hair versus mask match.
Right. It's dumb.
But does Chad have much hair?
No,
Tell him to grow his hair until WrestleMania. No more
still,
haircuts, Chad.
I see him go bald now. See if you can pull it off.
I don't even want to see a hair versus mask match with nobody. That's in the fucking. That's late 80s, 90s. I just don't find that interesting.
It's not as impactful in American wrestling. If it was going on in Mexico, it'd mean more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easily.
Because that's the gimmick.
So next we got Ivy and Dakota. They kind of run into each other. I got a kick when Dakota Kai called her a whippersnapper.
Cobra Kai. I love that show. Oh, that's something else.
Yeah. All right. So next we go to Ivy versus Kai, and Kai actually got the win. I was really impressed. I was really shocked actually. Ivy looked good in this match though. No comment on that one, huh?
The crowd was dead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad match, but at the same time, if it wasn't on last night, it would have affected me.
If you ever want to know what it's like to sit in a group of 15,000 people who are questioning their life choices, it was during that match.
Yeah, the crowd was dead.
Looking back now. Either way, I was surprised that Dakota Kai got the win.
If I had any advice for Dakota Kai, it would be to eat a hamburger or 10 once in a while.
Yeah, she's kind of thin.
Yeah. So my question is their group broken up now?
Who? American Made?
Yeah, no, Dakota Kai.
I think they're still loosely together.
How loose are they? Oh, wait, never mind. My mind wandered.
I knew that was coming. Afterwards. All right, so next we go to recap of Gunner attacking Jey. Then Gunner mimicking Jay's entrance.
Well, I bet he practiced that the back forward before he did it too.
I mean, this is the thing. An attack or them get into it has happened for what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of roll down. We're still about 2 months away from WrestleMania. I don't want to keep on seeing this every single week.
Well, you better not tune in because that's what you're going to see.
It's going to get old, and I feel like people are going to start becoming uninterested in it because it's now getting boring. Just like this is the same thing. They need to figure out something different.
But
keep them relevant.
That's the problem with WWE is they force feed you this shit enough where you either get super excited for it or you lose all interest in it. I mean, they're all about force feeding you shit. They force fed us Roman Reigns for 4 fucking years.
Hey, Roman's great though.
Yeah, them drugs you did in the 80s sure affect him.
Here's the reality though. Nobody is shoved down people's throats. If you like the person for whatever reason, you're not going to see it the same way if for whatever reason you don't like them.
Yeah.
It's the suck festival of wrestling fandism.
All right. So, shut up.
Oh.
Sorry, I got puppies that are pissing me off.
Only on our podcast.
Yeah, I know. They've been good for a while, but now they got me. All right, so next we go to Liv and Raquel backstage, talking about her upcoming match with Jade Cargill or Coral, Jade Coral. Or no, Roxanne Perez, sorry.
She's got a sexy back. Did I say that?
Who? Raquel?
Yeah.
Each their own.
Yeah, and again, it's it's something I really didn't care about.
All right, then we'll move on.
Neither did the crowd.
Right.
That's why I said the best part of the show is Liv Morgan's buttocks area.
Right. Anyways, next we go to recap of Sammy begging for a match we've all seen 20 times before. I'm sorry, it's 34, but whatever.
Yeah, and having the Badger of Raw, whatever his name is, out there, and it was terrible. It just was. He didn't sell that he was absolutely saying, no, you cannot have it. I mean, it really looked like he was there to just kind of lead Sami Zayn into saying what he said instead of him being the guy that just happened because he learned about Sami Zayn's health.
You know what? I'd rather see Nick Aldis and Adam fight than Sammy and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
I'd rather see Mickey James do anything than any of them.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And again, I have no doubt that it's going to be a good match. Problem is again, we've seen it so many times that it's not interested. And from the fans' reaction, didn't sound like they're really into it either.
No, because we've seen it every 2 years.
Right?
So, all right, buddy, you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. You're hogging up my notes. All right, so the next go to Penta versus.
It's chaos.
Figures one time I didn't block the door. So we go to Penta versus Pete Dunne. Looked like Ludwig tried to interfere or at least cause a distraction. Pete Dunne got pinned, upset at Kaiser. They have a small fight, and then it pretty much pans out.
Is that a pun?
Not really.
Small fight when like a 4'10". Pete Dunne reminds me of the Pharaoh kid from the Road Warrior movie. He grew up a little bit, but not enough.
Yeah, kind of. But Pete Dunne's got some serious skill too, I think.
He does, but again, I don't know why, but these two, Penta and Pete Dunne, and I love Penta. Huge fan of Penta. Just didn't do anything for him.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of niche they're going to find for Pete Dunne. He did wonders all over in Europe, but they just can't find his place here now. So I'm sure. I'm sure he'll be cut soon.
Bye.
Yeah.
What was it? The movie Tombstone? Well, bye.
Yeah, I'm kidding. All right. Next, we go to War Raiders video about Creed Brothers.
Oh, those are another exciting team.
The War Raiders?
Oh, boy.
Creed Brothers as well.
I bet they could win a hot dog eating contest, though.
I like the Creed Brothers. They've got so much skill and talent, it's not even funny.
Yeah, but they're dull is the problem.
Yeah, they got the Lance Storm personality, but, you got to like them for their ability, not just their lack of mic skills.
I agree, but it's like their mic skills, even when they're in the ring, it's just as good as they are, they just come across as dull, and I have a hard time finding interest in their matches.
If you have 15,000 people in an arena, I can guarantee you not even 10 of them said, honey, load up the car. We're going to watch the Creed Brothers tonight. Right. And they said, what, we're going to watch Rocky again? No.
All right. So next we go to Roxanne versus Raquel. I really wasn't too invested in this match either.
It was predictable.
Really, I didn't think Roxanne would win. I thought Raquel would win, to be honest.
It was predictable.
Roxanne.
It was predictable in the sense that you knew that Liv was going to get involved away somehow.
Yeah, but Liv didn't really get involved, did she?
Are you saying she's not involved? Because I'd like to get involved. Oh, wait, that's another story.
She did in the fact of trying to distract the referee and stuff like that. I mean, it was just, I don't know. Like you said, I just couldn't get into it.
Well, pretty soon, Bianca and Naomi came out to attack Liv, dressed as cheerleaders.
Yeah, I said, what the fuck were they wearing? You look terrible.
They're dressed as them girls in that movie. What was that fucking movie was called?
I bet Bianca made the outfits though, because she does that,
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
I know. Roxanne got the pin over Raquel. That really surprised me. Shut up. All right. Hold on a second here. Talk amongst yourself for a second.
Someone get some rat poison. Oh,
yeah, I mean, last night it was hard watching.
Let's just say if last night's show was written by AI, AI is in trouble, which I know it's not because AI is awesome. So there's no way AI wrote that show last night.
Yeah,
No.
2.5 hours of this was rough last night.
All right, so next we go to an interview with Seth talking about his match with Finn, upcoming match with Finn. Karrion Kross comes out and starts talking about predictions, which actually I kind of like, to be honest.
That's the one part I agree. That's the one part that I was like, okay, just because I like Karrion Kross, I'm really hoping that now that he's out of this group, that they keep him for the most part by himself and they start pushing this guy.
Right. I mean, this guy's got all the tools. Plus, he's got a good-looking woman by his side. I mean, come on.
He
What's not
does
to
a
like?
great Jesse Ventura imitation too.
Does he really?
Have you ever heard it? Oh, it's just sounds just like Jesse. He even did it in front of Jesse once.
Yeah, I seen that actually. It was on YouTube.
So then next we go to a vignette with Io Sky, which kind of, I don't know, kind of liked it, kind of didn't like it. You know, I could have lived without it. So I like Io Sky, but I don't think, I think WWE has a hard time with minority wrestlers. I just think there's no other way around it. Whether they're black, Asian, Indian, I don't know, but they just can't find a niche for them.
Well, this is the thing. The vignette that they did, had her talk about how she's going to get her title back. This is her title. And it wasn't believable just because of the women that are in the game for this title. It's like, there's no way you get this title. So because of that, it made it something that I was like, okay, space filler.
You know, while I was watching Raw last night, I was cursing myself. I was like, Bob, you idiot, you big fat bastard, you're 61-year-old bastard. Why did you finish watching Cobra Kai before Raw? You could have saved it and watched it during Raw. That's what I thought. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next we go to New Day in the ring, talking smack about Rey Mysterio. Here's the shocker of the night. LWO came out to defend Rey and, oh my God, beat up the New Day. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, explain to me, how in the hell did New Day go from turning heel and it being potentially something that's going to be really hot because of what they did to Big E to being placed at the lower part of the mid card? The LWO.
Well, either they're trying to push the LWO or they're trying to push New Day out.
I mean, just look. When was the last time LWO won a match?
They push them all out. Sorry.
I mean, there's nothing different about the New Day now that they're heels that, compared to whenever they were baby faces. They're still fucking losing.
You know what the sad part about wrestling is, and this is something has plagued wrestling since the beginning, pretty much. You try things, you see if they work, and once you realize they're not working, stop trying, try something else.
Yeah, but Bob, when they turned heel and they had this whole thing with Big E, that was going to work. That's all everyone was talking about for a good week, and then they just did nothing with it, nothing for a while. Except stupid little backstage promos with the New Day and people being mad at them.
You know what I would do with the New Day? You know what I would do with the New Day? I would talk them into getting into a giant box of bootios, and I'd back it up to the Grand Canyon, and I'd say, "Hey guys, it's time to go." And then they'd step out thinking it's part of the show, and they fall in the Grand Canyon.
That's basically what happened with their career.
Pretty much.
But they have money in the bank, and they've had a long career, and
Right.
Walmart's always hiring, from what I heard. I don't know. I don't want to work there.
They definitely have had a very long career, but I don't know. If you're not going to use them correctly, then just don't use them at all.
Hey, look, I got Santa Claus slippers that my wife got me.
All right, so the next we go to Seth versus Finn. The only thing I got to say about this match is Michael Cole does not know how to call a match, and this is what pissed me off about Michael Cole last night. Finn gives a Pele kick, and Michael Cole goes, "Oh, an overhead kick," and Pat goes, "No, that's a Pele kick." And Michael Cole just totally ignored it. If you're going to use somebody's move, call it because they've earned it. They've got the title for it or whatever. It's like a Canadian destroyer. Don't call it a Mexican destroyer. It was a Canadian destroyer before a Mexican destroyer. Give the people that created the move their credit. Okay. And
well, if Triple H comes up to you and he says, Michael, when so and so does the destroyer, Mexican destroyer, or Canadian destroyer, call it a Mexican destroyer. And then when you don't do it, he goes, "Hey, remember when I told you to do that? You didn't. You're fired."
Yeah, but you know what? Come on, have some common courtesy for the people that created the moves
in the wrestling business. Come on.
Oh, come on now. Sting gets his credit for the Scorpion Deathlock. Bret Hart gets his for the same move. Even though two people lay claim to the same move. How many people get credit for the spear, the Frankensteiner? I mean, there's a ton of people that got
The person who started the Frankensteiner, a guy named Raul Mata from the 1970s, the guy I wrestled several times. He was doing that stuff before Steiner was out of diapers. So let's start giving credit to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing like the super kick. Although it's called super kick, Shawn Michaels often gets credit for it, when in fact, it should, legitimate Chris Adams should even get credit for it, because it was the guy back in the 30s, I can't remember his name, that actually made the super kick, famous for using it. So
this is all semantics. It doesn't matter to the grand scheme.
And Michael Cole, if he indeed made a mistake, then fine, he's human. But I agree, if your boss tells you this is what you're going to do, unfortunately, that's what you have to do.
Sometimes sometimes you're in the moment and you say something, you go, "Oh shoot, I should have said this." Oh well, you can't take it back,
Right, but when it's done repeatedly, that's not a mistake.
Oh well, that's different.
Because they've called it a Mexican destroyer at least 3 times.
There's this little thing on the remote called mute.
Yeah, but I still like to hear Pat McFay.
So they have I used to wish they had a Corey Graves button on the remote. Did you just mute his commentary?
I think that Michael Cole and McAfee, they're great together. They're funny. It reminds me of
Don't say it.
It does. On the brain. I'm not saying they're as good. They're
throwing in the towel.
No one will ever be as good as those two. I'm just saying it reminds me somewhat of them.
Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross were great too.
Yeah, they were.
You know what? Jerry and Jim were awesome, but I really got to go back to Gorilla and Bobby Heenan.
Oh, they were great too. But they were never really commentators together. They were more of the host of primetime wrestling, whatever. Yep. And it's a little bit different thing. They would sit there and I guarantee you none of that was scripted either. They'd sit there and banter back and forth, and it was hilarious, entertaining. But they turned it to the show and to the matches. Someone else did the commentary, the actual play-by-play.
I remember them doing play-by-play, but
once in a while, but not too often, really. When you think back, every Tuesday night, primetime wrestling, they're sitting there.
Yeah, it was more banter between the two, even when they were.
But they were hilarious.
God, they were hilarious.
I
can't think of anybody else that was funnier than Gorilla and Heenan. I really can't.
What was funny about watching it is, when I was a kid, a lot of things they said go over my head. You go back to watch this as an adult now, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, they did a lot of silly insider terms and stuff that you didn't know about. You're like, what? Oh, what?
Yeah. It's kind of like watching MASH as a kid. You didn't fully understand it until later on in life.
It's an awesome show, though.
Yep.
It was.
Come to think of it, on next Monday night, around 8, I'm going to watch MASH. Oh, wait.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it. Seth got the pin over Finn, which kind of disappointed me, but wasn't totally unexpected, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would give Raw overall a C.
Yeah, I can't do any better than that. I'd give him a C. Hopefully as things progress towards WrestleMania, they get more heated, but I'm just didn't feel much last night for it.
Yeah, what's funny is considering that Raw is on Netflix, and it's the big, they're back to be at the A show. SmackDown is better than Raw.
Say what?
SmackDown is better than Raw right now.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but
They still have a lot of repetition on both shows, a lot of the same people, a lot of the same stories, been going on and on and on. It's like my life. I'm 61. I keep going on and I'm ready to die. It's not even fair.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree, but to me, it seems like SmackDown's easier to watch than what Raw is.
I think
Well, it does have Tiffany Stratton. Oops, I went there again.
Kaiser's a lucky guy.
I hate that son of a.
I hate to say it, but one thing AEW should do is a SmackDown Raw kind of theme between Collision and Dynamite. I really think they got enough talent they could probably pull it off, and they could expose more people instead of exposing the same 12 people every week.
Between Collision, you know what? Dynamite and Collision has been pretty good here for the past few weeks.
This past Saturday show was fantastic. I thought.
Yeah, and it blows my mind that Dynamite last Wednesday was the lowest ranked TV on cable channel show on cable TV. I'm like, what? Dynamite has been good,
right?
And but here's the question for you both. Mark and I started the very first All In that was ever done, and they had the stadium that was absolutely packed. And if you compare it to now, they have a hard time getting people into their shows. So I ran bars for the majority of my career, and there's a saying that it's really easy to have a hot bar or hot nightclub turn into a shit nightclub, but it's damn near impossible to turn a shit nightclub back to a hot nightclub. Do you think it's the same thing with professional wrestling? AEW went from being hot, packed stadiums or arenas to what it is now. Do you think Tony Khan can turn it around?
No.
Yes.
I don't think Tony can. I think he needs some serious assistance.
But the WWE was not always hot. It's called the peaks and valleys. Right now, WWE's hot. Not too long ago, they weren't. They're going to get that way again. And it's just a circle of whoever's in charge in the moment and who the fans connect with. It means something.
What do you think Tony Khan needs to do, though, to start getting people to want to be there? Because, I mean, even their Australia show, yeah, there was like 14,000 people, I think they said the count was. But they were having the
third highest,
two for one is how they were trying.
Third highest gate of the company, though. You can't complain about that.
Even with a 2 for 1. Now,
right.
That 2 had 7,000 sold by the time they had that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But what do you think? What do you think Khan needs to do to make this happen in the United States?
I think he needs to get a haircut because it looks like a 10-year-old. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he does look like he's in a bar mitzvah. He needs to get out of his own way. And he needs to hire somebody that can take control of day-to-day operations that knows what the hell they're doing.
I agree. I also think that he needs
hired. Oh, I'm sorry.
He needs to get WWE out of his fucking head.
You said the word head.
Because look, there are two different companies in so many ways. WWE is sports entertainment versus
no.
Professional wrestling. You don't think so? Because AEW puts on better matches than what WWE does, but WWE obviously tells better stories than AEW. You disagree with that?
Depends. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And it's all professional wrestling. It's been professional wrestling forever, and it's been sports entertainment forever because it's not real.
Well, I get that. But to me, when I hear sports entertainment, I attribute that to the storyline aspect, the heavy storyline. And WWE is heavier storyline than AEW.
The only reason you look at WWE as sports entertainment because Vince McMahon banned the term pro wrestler for a while. But now that Vince is gone and homeless now, the poor guy, Triple H lets them call it pro wrestling again. It's got a ring. It's got a referee. It's got a 3 count. It's got this rule, that rule, and wrestlers. It's pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is sports entertainment, and sports entertainment is pro wrestling. And guess who coined the phrase? I don't know, but it wasn't Vince McMahon. No. First time I heard the term Sports Entertainment was in a magazine article in 1980 in a wrestling magazine called the Wrestling Exchange, which was a short-lived wrestling magazine published out of Michigan that Jim Ross, yes, the Jim Ross, wrote an article for, and he referenced wrestling as sports entertainment. First time I ever seen it. I'm sure it was used before that, but I'm simply saying Vince McMahon didn't coin the phrase. He just likes to take credit for it. Get excited.
No, but it's just like making a move big. We talked about the Frankensteiner. Yeah, somebody in Mexico might have done it first, but who made it big? Scott Steiner. All right. So while Jim Ross might have used it in the 80s and someone might have used it in the 70s, Vince McMahon is the one that made it stick.
But it's still pro wrestling.
Well, you know what? You've got years and decades in front of me on being a pro wrestler. So, I really can't argue with you.
Oh, and he was actual.
It's more fun if you did, though. I mean, what else we got to do? The show sucked. Let's argue.
Yeah. Bob, overall, what would you give it as far as a grade?
You mean last night's show?
Yeah.
A C minus. It'd be an F if Liv Morgan wasn't there with her butt.
Nothing for Bianca's and Naomi's cheerleader outfits?
Yeah, I mean, they're all right. They're all right.
And are you? Who doesn't like a girl in a cheerleader outfit?
I like her better out of it. Oh, I said it.
Oh, man. Anyway, that was our somewhat of a recap of Monday Night Raw. Mark gave it a C. Bob, C minus. I gave it a C as well. Didn't think it was all that great. Hopefully, as Mark said, it will start getting better the closer it gets to WrestleMania. We'll see, I guess. Bob, do you have anything to plug?
No, but I would like to say, no matter what anybody thinks, and if you go into WrestleMania thinking it's going to suck, in your mind, no matter how good it is, you're going to find a way to make it suck. You have to go into WrestleMania. You have to invite some friends over, first of all. You have to get some cold drinks of your choice, some snacks that you enjoy. Sit back, relax, don't critique, don't predict, don't criticize. Watch the show, enjoy the friendships because they could be dead tomorrow, and enjoy the show for what it is because WrestleMania is always good. Think of a WrestleMania. Think back. When was a really sucky WrestleMania? If you can think, I can't. Share it with me because I can't think of one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and for the most part, regardless if it's a AEW pay-per-view or WWE PLE, those shows are always good. The energy's always there. It's a different feeling when you're watching those shows versus watching the weekly shows. I'm definitely.
And you have to also take into consideration, as much as it may be hard to understand, that this is a weekly show, not just one. They got SmackDown, they got NXT, they got the Raws. A weekly show on a weekly basis from month to month, year to year, decade to decade with no lull in between. You're never going to hit a home run every time. And I hate to be negative. Like if I watched the show last night, I thought maybe I'm just not in the mood to watch wrestling. And I would post little things like this and that negative. Then I go back and I delete them because I'm ashamed of myself because I don't want people to think I'm a bitter old wrestler. I'm just old, but I'm not bitter. And that's the way it is. You can't expect it to be great every time. It's like a soap opera, legitimately. I mean, soap operas are on every day, though. I think, do they still make soap operas? I don't know. I used to be addicted to General Hospital for from 70. Remember that Luke and Laura story? You guys are too young. Get out of here. You're too young.
52 on that much younger than you.
Oh, but the point is, it's not always going to be a home run. And when you got to do something like that week after week, you're going to get burned out. You're going to, you just like, just do this. Your mind's not always going to be coming up with the greatest angles of all time.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. You're not going to hit a home run every time.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and say, where's my phone? Oh, wait, it's hooked up right here. I'm not going to say I'm going to go cancel Netflix because Raw didn't tickle my fancy, although a few people on the Raw could have tickled my fancy if they volunteer. Let me give you some names. Oh, never mind. The point is, I'm not going to cancel Netflix because one week I didn't particularly care for what I was watching.
Right. Oh, I agree. I mean, look, I still look forward to Raw and SmackDown and Collision and Dynamite.
Oh, not me. I'm never watching again. Not after that crap last night.
I'm a wrestling fan, and I'm excited about the Elimination Chamber. I'm excited about WrestleMania. So I do agree with you, but there are times that I just don't connect with whatever's happening. And again, I never use the term that wrestlers suck because they don't. It's something with how, why I personally didn't like it, because I am aware that, what I don't like, someone else may have thought Raw was the greatest show on air last night. And it's all about perception. So you can't discount them and tell them they're wrong, because a person's perception, it's their own perception.
And sometimes when you see a match that's not what you think it should be, you never know. It could be something as simple. Maybe the guy's got a cold. Maybe he had a rough night. Maybe his wife's bitching at him on the phone because he's not home enough and his mind isn't into the match. Or he's just beat down from the road. And one time you see a match, oh, geez, he didn't put any effort. Like I did with Dominic. But he could just be a bad night because of the personal problems they have in life, because they are, after all, humans.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Eventually, we won't need them because AI, again, is doing some incredible stuff. We're not going to use humans for nothing soon. Do you know the best looking females in the world? I'm talking about the most perfect looking females with the best bodies, the most gorgeous faces, the sparkling eyes, created by AI. Look it up. Not kidding. Not lying.
You have anything to plug, Bob?
Well, if some of those Raw people come over, right? Never mind. That's a different type of plug-in, but no, I have nothing.
What about you, Mark? You have anything going on?
I got a shadow on my head. Wait a minute. Oh, look, I tried to keep the lighting down.
Nothing. We're good.
All right. Well, to the Tuesday, join us Thursday for a recap of Dynamite. It's the Wednesday night show after their Australia show. We're going to the timeless Tony Storm era, as she is the new world champion. See what they do with her. Till then, guys. Oh, tomorrow I am going to be interviewing Triple M. He is a professional wrestling manager on the independent scene in California. Friend of mine, good guy. Looking forward to that. But until then, you all have a great rest of the week. And Mark, what do you always say?
Ring the damn bell.
Ring the damn bell, guys.
So long from the Sunshine State.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It's absolutely free. We'll see you guys on Thursday.